Congratulations. If the phone goes off, I'll say it again.
Ready?
Okay.
All right. Okay, good evening. I will now call the first committee of the whole meeting of this Maple Hills Council to order. And make sure I'm on the right page. Okay, so our first topic is declaration of conflicts of interest. I have a declaration to declare on 5E1. Does anyone else have any conflicts of interest?
No.
Okay, so we'll move to the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover to adopt the agenda in its current form? So moved by Councillor Esty. Do I have a second?
I'd like to put a motion to adjust the agenda.
Okay,
I would like to add, with everyone receiving the email in regards to support for crosswalk from the FRAMs, that that topic be discussed for support.
I
Seeing as
guess,
we're going to be closed for summer.
so I guess it would take a vote to add that item on the fly to the agenda.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councillor Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with a vote. All those in favor of adding the crosswalk request to the agenda for tonight's meeting, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried, so we will add that under new business after number 5. So 5E1 and 2, we'll add that as number 6, and adjournment will be number 7. Okay, on to adoption of minutes. It would now take a motion to adopt the minutes from the April 7th Committee of the Whole meeting. Do I have a mover to adopt those minutes in their current form?
Move.
Moved by Councillor Martin. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Esty. Are we ready for the question?
Question.
We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the minutes for the April 7th Committee of the Whole meeting, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so on to new business, and the first topic is the appointment of deputy mayor. So as everybody knows, we require a deputy mayor. The deputy mayor is the backup for the mayor. If I'm unavailable, they can be a signatory at the bank, they can approve payments, attend events. So do we have a motion from anybody to nominate someone for deputy mayor? Councillor Jean Gras?
I move to nominate Councillor Martin for Deputy Mayor.
Okay. Councillor Martin, do you accept the nomination?
I accept. Thank you, Councillor Jean Gras.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations from the floor for deputy mayor? Okay. Well, being as we only have one nomination, we will proceed with a vote. All those in, I guess we have to do that at the regular council meeting. Okay, my apologies. So I guess we'll have that on the agenda for the regular council meeting for us to vote on. Perfect. So the next topic is bank signatories, and so that, there's a motion on your tablets. So that motion would follow the election of the deputy mayor. We would update the signatory from the former deputy mayor to the new deputy mayor that's elected. Do we have any questions on that topic? Okay. So the next topic is the appointment of council members to the Maple Hills Safety Advisory Committee. So in our previous term, Councillor Savoie was the council liaison for our Safety Advisory Committee for Maple Hills. So we'll need a new liaison for that that position. So I guess much like the deputy mayor, are there any nominations from the floor or anybody who wishes to sit on that committee as a liaison?
Just quick
Councillor
question.
Martin? Sure.
Regarding the individuals on that, the majority of them are from Ward 3, correct?
No,
No?
no, we have, correct me, Hannah, but we have 2 from Ward 2.
It's equally.
And we have 1 from Ward 1.
Sorry, I actually don't know offhand.
I know for sure we have 2 from Ward 2 and 1 from Ward 1. I'm just not sure if there's more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is someone from every ward. It was a larger group. Some have stopped attending.
Oh, okay.
They're still on the emails and included in the communication, but some are not attending anymore. But we certainly have 2 from Ward 2 and 1 from Ward 1.
All right, if no one is doing it, I will do it for this year. If it's
Okay.
a year. I'm calling a year.
Okay. Okay, so the motion on your tablets indicates that we would insert name, Councillor Martin, Deputy Mayor Martin, whatever it is, but to that appointment at the regular council meeting that we're having at 6:30. Okay. So the next item is the appointment of bylaw enforcement officer. So if you guys remember, we did this previously when we took the contract with Maritime Enforcement. They have added an employee and they'd like us to include him. Maybe I'll let CAO Downey give a little background on why that's so important. I know you explained it to me when I asked, so I'll let you explain it to everyone else.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question, Mayor Warren. So whenever there is a bylaw officer that's representing Maple Hills, they need to be appointed by the council. So the new bylaw officer with Maritime Enforcement, he's been working in a different area. So I shouldn't say that he's new to Maritime Enforcement. He's just going to be new to our area, helping Samuel with some of the files. His name is Jason Tulcott. So it'd just be council appointing him as one of our bylaw enforcement. It's not to say that the rest of them are being removed. He's just being added to the rest of the names.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, so the next item on the agenda is grant request, and the first one I've declared a conflict on, and it just occurs to me now that
We don't have a deputy mayor.
we don't have a deputy mayor for me to appoint to the chair when I leave.
Yeah, so that's,
Should I just sit in and?
if you don't mind, you can chair the meeting. It would just take the mayor to appoint you to be the chair.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I appoint Councillor Jean Gras to take the chair for my conflict.
Acting deputy mayor, yes. 5 minutes. Okay, so.
Okay, so there was a grant request. I believe everyone has seen it. We had this grant, the same grant request last year for the Louisville Minor Hockey, or to support the Louisville Minor Hockey Association. This one is to support a golf tournament in August at the Lakeside Golf Club. To sponsor holes 500, to put a team in is 700. We have some golf balls on order with Maple Hills branding on them that we were going to donate as well. So it's just whether or not council would like to sponsor a hole for 500. And yeah, you guys are, more than welcome to discuss it, just so we know what direction to go with at the regular council meeting.
Oh. There we go.
Can you remind us what we sponsored for last year, the amount?
Last year was 500.
Was it?
We also gave golf balls last year, and Councillor Gingras and Councillor Savoie, former Councillor Savoie, both attended, and I think you guys gave out the golf balls to people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. If I remember the discussion last year, I think it very much so applies to this year. We have a lot of kids that play within that, and it is being hosted within Maple Hills. I am for the 500.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
So is
That's
that
it. That's probably it for that one, so we can move on to the Juniper Grove one, if that's okay.
Sure, we'll just get it done.
Okay. So there was a grant request from Juniper Grove Farm for I'll get the mayor back.
Well, that's why I said just get it done, but
We better not. We almost moved on without you.
Good job, David. They forgot I was even here. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the Juniper Grove Farm request. So CAO Downey, did you want to?
I can add a
Add?
couple, yeah. So we received their grant request for the amount of 100 to support a horse pull I was told that a lot of Maple Hills residents participate in this, and the only reason that it's not being hosted within Maple Hills is because we don't have a venue. But it is being organized by a Maple Hills resident. Juniper Grove Farm is located within Maple Hills boundaries. Their request was for 100, and they host people from all over to come to the horse pull. And at the end of the day, they make sure that they've got their, their prizes and everything in order. And then the monies that they had raised after, whatever they have, they make a donation to the IWK. And I'm sure that there are plenty of children in the Maple Hills that have been, I would say, affected, or maybe have been to the IWK or have family members there. So do council have any questions?
Councillor Martin?
As you said, with the amount of people that attend and participate from Maple Hills, and with many families that have gone to the IWK, and the fact that it's organized by local, I would actually like to propose that we bring the amount up to $250.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions or comments on the grant?
Passing an amendment to make it 250?
So,
No.
well, because this is committee of the whole,
First one. Oh, okay.
so because it's committee of the whole, this is our opportunity to debate it. They've
Okay.
requested $100. And Councillor Martin's just suggesting that we might want to offer more
Okay.
because of the
So
participation.
he'd have to mention that during the regular session.
Yes, so
Right,
when,
okay.
if Councillor Martin was going to make the motion to make the donation, because we don't have a motion on the table yet, and the motion the clerk has in e-scribe is just a sample motion, so it's council's prerogative to change that, yeah.
Right, so, yeah, currently we're debating it.
Yeah.
And, if, obviously, this would be an opportunity if somebody felt otherwise, that
Yeah.
might now be the time to speak up, I guess you could
I
say.
have no other questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions on this motion? Okay. Okay, so all of these will be discussed at our 6:30 meeting, and I guess, yeah, we've added an item to the agenda, and it is the crosswalk request. So since council has not been given the opportunity to review any documentation, I will give the floor to Councillor Martin and let him explain the request.
Thank you, Mayor Warren. I believe everyone has received the email from one of the residents, Preston Fram. He has been working, he is one of the individuals that is responsible for having the culvert and that put in place for the emergency route for Mountain View School. Going forward, as everyone is aware, or you council will be made aware, we have met previously with the superintendent of the school district, English School District, the principal of Mountain View, as well as the MLAs were involved as well. And basically what's being asked is they're looking to try to get some support to have a crosswalk put in place, see what's going, get some push behind it. And that's basically it. These people have already come forward and saved our community tens of thousands of dollars in itself, helped make it safe for children, and the goal is to continue to do that by putting a crosswalk in. And the ask is essentially that we show our support for it, whether it be through letter, help, whatnot, any avenue that we can to make this happen. I know there's some circumstances with DTI and regulation as far as sidewalks and concrete sidewalks on both sides necessary and so on, but I think anything we can do to help on this would be greatly appreciated for the community and all the kids that go to the school.
So I can just add that I have had this conversation with DTI, and Councillor Martin's correct. They told us previously, without a curb and a sidewalk for the crosswalk to butt into, that they don't usually approve a sidewalk for that situation. So that's where the challenge lies. It's not just that they're ignoring the request. It's that they have rules that don't allow the request. So that's where the headbutting has happened. Does anybody else want to speak? Okay, Councillor Jean-Gras.
If there was, just say, and perhaps the CAO can answer this, say we built the sidewalk, would DTI maintain it?
We would have to have DTI do the sidewalk for us, because it's not, they still own that area of the side of the road. So we would have to put in the request to have that done, and it would be up to DTI whether or not they would include that in their list of projects.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Boomer.
Last year in Notre Dame, on the same stretch of road, just further down. So in Notre Dame, a woman was hit and killed in front of the elementary school at a crosswalk. So I'm not seeing how it's going to improve safety. I have kids that go to Mountain View School, and my issue is that I don't want them crossing that road at all. And I'd rather see the emergency plan adjusted to not have them crossing right now. And there's plans for Mountain View to be rebuilt, so I don't see it as a good investment.
Okay. So I will include to council, thank you for that point. The MLA for the area had indicated that at one point that, and I can't say that it was the MLA or that somebody else was doing it, but that they were going to look into the muster station being the golf course. In the past, that was not an option because they weren't open in the winter, so there was no heat and there was no water. Now that they have the virtual golf in the winter, they were going to revisit that. I can't give an update on that situation because I don't know. I was there when the ask was made previously and the student population was roughly 80 and now it's over 120. So I'm not sure if that number would have an impact or where that stands. So it might be a good idea for us to get that information and see, like, was that a no? Did that ever get followed up on? Is that an option? I kind of agree with Councillor Boomer when she says about, like, the situation that happened in Notre Dame, that I would hate to see someone lulled into a sense of security because there's a sidewalk. I was passed 2 weeks ago in that school zone. So I was doing the speed limit and a vehicle passed me, and I would guess he was doing double the school zone speed limit. So I understand the concern that there could be a false sense of security for a situation like that, and if there is another option, it might be safer for the students to not have to cross the road at all. That said, neither of the situations are safe, but when I think about it in the from the perspective that she just gave, the janitor being out on the road with a safety vest, stopping traffic, to me might actually be safer than a crosswalk now that you've brought that point up. So I'm a little less eager for there to be a crosswalk now that that point has come up, that somebody was hit on a crosswalk that by a school that obviously felt that was a safe place to cross, but because they travel so fast on the road and they're not respecting the school zone, that does concern me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So let's see if maybe we can find out where they're at with the, I don't know who's the PSSE anymore, but I'll check and see if I can find out who's on the PSSE. If they've made that request again to see if the muster station could be next door and then they don't have to cross the road. If that's not an option, then I'm happy for us to have another conversation about it and see what we feel. Maybe we can invite some of the parents, Preston, Mr. Fram, maybe some of the other parents can come and give us some more feedback. Again, I day one, I was like, oh, that's a good idea. But now I'm like, well, maybe that isn't the best idea. But if we had more feedback so that we know where they stand on it, then we could better understand what if the ask is broader. Councillor Martin?
I agree. It's neither are a top choice by any means. When we do the ask, if the neighboring property is not an option,
Yeah.
when it comes back, could we ask for their policy as far as how they manage the crossing now?
Sorry, whose policy?
School's policy.
So
I know it's a janitor goes out, but do they have something?
So currently they ask the RCMP, because they have to do so many drills a year, they ask the RCMP to come and assist. Sometimes that actually happens. They come and the cars park and they stop the traffic. Sometimes they're not available and that rolls over and eventually they have to do their drill anyway. So then Mr. Bailey, the custodian, will go out with a safety vest and stop the traffic until the kids all get across the road.
That's
So
my-
kind of like a
that-
crossing guard, but,
That's my concern is when it's not a drill,
right,
So-
100%.
because we know response times in the area, so.
Sure, sure.
Bad timing to say that.
Counselor Boomer?
I just want to say, as a rural community, we know, like, there's no gardening term, you don't fight the site, so we know what a rural route is. And it's not going to change, it's basically a highway, and the idea of children crossing it is not ideal with or without a crosswalk. So if we could explore other options, I think that would be ideal.
So some of that goes back to the school, the PSSE, I mean, really, it should be them requesting, that's why I said I'll ask for an update on where they're at, because it's really not our place to establish their muster station for them. But I just brought it up because I knew that it had been discussed previously that they would look into maybe moving it next door so they didn't have to cross the street. And I just don't know where they've gotten since then. So I'm happy to ask, see if I can get an update. I know a guy who wants to go there this week and get some pictures taken in a grad gown, so maybe I'll get the chance to ask somebody if they can give me an update while we're there. So, okay, I will make a note of that to get,
So, Madam Mayor, is it okay if I just
Absolutely.
ask for
Sorry,
some
I'm sorry.
clarification on this? So, if I understand what council wants to do, we're getting direction to check with the MLA, the superintendent from the school district for an update, and then we can bring that back to council?
I'm gonna check with the school first to see if the PSSE has one,
Okay,
because typically that's where the asks originates. And then if they haven't made the ask, we can check with the minister, because she was part of that conversation about potentially asking for a different location. I just don't know who ended up with the task,
okay.
but I know from being on that PSSE years ago, we made the initial request, so I'll check with them and see if there's an update. Okay. All right, so that concludes the topics on the agenda for the committee of the whole. It would now take a motion to,
May I call a point of procedure?
Counselor Esty has a point of procedure.
Where we have a closed session at the general meeting, or sorry, at the regular meeting, and where it's 5:55, could we enter into closed session now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Number one, because it would put the agenda out of order and we haven't adopted the agenda yet, and that's a public agenda, but also, I'm not sure, I can't say for certain that the two topics on it, we could complete in the
Sure.
35 minutes, so.
Understood.
Okay, anything else before we adjourn? Okay, it would now take a motion to adjourn our first committee of the whole.
I'll move.
So moved by Counselor Esty,